Well, this is take two because take one just blew out, which is very typical when the energy of a place is a little bit strange. And so to start again, I'm here with Cherry in her Richmond flat. And those of you who know Richmond, it's a magnificent area, really high vibe energy. Lovely gardens just outside here and the river just around the corner here. And the interesting thing is that for some reason Cherry just does not want to be in the flat, does not want to spend time here. So do you want to tell us why, or why you think that might be, Cherry?
It's well, since my husband died in February, and there was a lot of stress around that,
Sure.
a lot. And after that, and then I got very depressed, and then I thought, well, the only way to deal with this is to get off my bottom and start doing things and accepting invitations and going out and seeing things. And also it's the first time I've been able to do that since, because I've always my attention's always been on Norman.
Yeah.
And so I thought, well, now I'm going to go to exhibitions, now I'm going to go to concerts, now I'm going to do all these lovely things, which I do, and I go out Nordic walking, and I do spend a lot of time out in the garden practicing qigong, and but I don't want to sit inside, and to the extent that I don't even want to watch television at night, which I always used to do, and in fact loved it, but it's just very odd. But I do love being in this area. Love it.
Well, it is an extraordinary area. But the things that I remember when I came into your flat last week, and my sense was I was just walking into Norman, Cherry's husband's energy, and it was still very much in the air and being influenced by him in some way. And so I'm back here today to investigate and see if we can get to the root of what is going on. And we've just started by walking around with the dowsing rods, and as we walked around, every space the dowsing rods are crossing, indicating there's an out of alignment, and we're both getting much the same reading in every room. And when they do that, it's a kind of effect of the energy is shutting down, the heart energy, shutting down the fields around the body, and the rods then cross in. And so we're going to investigate a little bit further and hopefully get to the root of what it is. Does Norman still have a live link, so to speak, from the spirit world, and is he actually still connected and influencing this space? But either way, Cherry does not feel comfortable, and she just wants to get out all the time.
Yes, I do.
And the idea of home is that you want to be in it and be comforted and feel good and safe and to feel at home, which she doesn't. So since he died, there's been a different atmosphere.
Completely. And my digestion hasn't worked very well. I'm having to be. I've really just been very upset, and I've had quite a lot of backache and.
So really, your whole emotional, physical, everything is taken a bit of a hit.
It feels as if it's been completely shot. Yes.
Okay. Well, that's what we're going to investigate a little bit further now, and we'll. I can see there are quite a few of you who have actually logged in and are watching this live. So welcome, and we'll give you the next chapter of the process as and when we find something significant that we can share with you. So for the moment, we'll leave you there, and thank you for watching so far. This is the next little piece in this very interesting situation here with Cherry, and we've just sat and I've asked Cherry to tune in to what is in the space and to her husband, Norman, who passed away in February. And we both got that he is still very much around, and you got that he wanted to apologise to you for something.
Well, I got this terrifically heavy feeling in my shoulders, and there was just an impression that he didn't exactly want to apologise, but that he was regretting, and he was sorry that he had been blocking me, and that he had given more attention to his own family than to me.
It's about a loyalty thing.
It was a loyalty to a very close-knit, small family who never really accepted me, and he, I think he's regretting that now.
Yeah.
I think, but I didn't get. I asked him if he wanted to apologise, but I didn't get.
No, interesting. Well, the conversation is actually going on at the moment in the spirit world, so, and this is very real for those who may not be familiar with this. So we are having a conversation with Norman, Cherry's husband, who passed away. And interestingly, Sandy Humby, who just watched the first part, texted just now in between the two clips, and she got very much that Norman was here, and so that's a really lovely confirmation. Thank you, Sandy. And that he's actually corded with her, and that he does not want to relinquish control of Cherry. And so I asked Cherry after reading that text, was he very controlling? Yeah. So, in what way was?
He was very difficult to control me.
Well, you're not a controllable person.
I'm not a controllable person, and I think he was very quietly and silently manipulative.
Yeah.
And but it's quite difficult for me to quantify it, because having lived with him for 45 years.
Yeah.
But it's interesting to have this turned up.
Yeah.
Because it does tie in, actually.
Yeah.
Yes, it does tie in. And so, well, let's hope we can clear it.
Yeah, well, the conversation will continue now with him, and really the question is, like in all situations, what is the resolution? What does he need to allow his soul to be free?
Yes.
Now, of course, he won't release fully. He is stuck in the in-between world, the ghost world, and part of the reason, as we're getting, is that he doesn't want to relinquish control over Cherry as he had when he was alive. And this just really shows how powerful. It doesn't matter if somebody has passed over, they can still control and run your life. And this is what is going on here. And when I walked into the flat, certainly last week, I could really feel his presence. It was really thick, walking into that treacle energy. And so that's why I suggested to Cherry, we really need to address this and see what it is, why he is still hanging around and influencing. And if we don't deal with this, he will continue to influence Cherry's life for as long as she does something about it. But we are doing something about it now. And so we're going to move on to the next stage just see what it is that he really wants, and if he is prepared to really just let go and allow her to carry on living her life and getting on with whatever she wants to do. And in the process of doing that, it will allow him to release and move on to his next incarnation or wherever his soul needs to take him. So does that feel...
That feels very good, because he's basically a very, very good person, and he should be with his first wife that he adored, and his parents, who are lovely people. So he should be, and his brother too. So he should be with them,
are they all in spirit?
Yes.
Yeah. Okay.
So I mean, it would be. It's a shame that he's not enjoying what he ought to be enjoying.
Do you get any sense as to how he can let go of controlling you? What is his need to control you?
I think it's. I don't get it, because it's such a dark. It's such a dark energy.
Yeah.
I can't kind of get into.
Well, in this kind of situation, what's coming to me is, has he been hijacked? Has his soul been hijacked? Which does actually happen when you're hovering in the in-between world. So we need to do a little bit of investigating on that. So we'll switch off here for the moment and go into another level of tuning in, and we'll be back again for the next part of this consultation process. Thank you for watching. When we came offline last time, a few minutes ago, I got it very clearly that Norman's soul, who is stuck in the in-between world, has actually been hijacked. And this can happen, and this can be by either very dark means and dark reasons, but in this case, what we've been checking and dowsing is it's actually a member of his family who have never liked Cherry, and that's putting it mildly. So for the last 45 years, Cherry really has not been a favourite at all. So the energy against her, and this is what we felt, that Norman has come to apologise when we started, when Cherry got that he wants to apologise for something, and it is actually the loyalty that he didn't give Cherry but gave to his family, who actually hate Cherry, to put it mildly. So do you want to give us your take on that, Cherry?
Yes, I mean, I was never accepted. Never, ever accepted. And it was, and actually, funny enough, when we went to live in France, Norman adored it, because I think he was away from his family. I think that's what he wanted. He didn't want to be in this sort of situation. And, yes, I think there were certainly 3 members of the family that would have done anything really to get rid of me.
Yeah.
And well, that's how it was.
Yeah.
I think that this is, I don't know whether it's their thoughts or what, but I feel that they've kind of lassoed him. I feel they've kind of got hold of him.
Yeah.
And he's suffering.
Well, in a sense, he's actually paying the price for his non-loyalty to Cherry by giving preference to his family, rightly or wrongly, but that's what he's done. But he's come back to ask for forgiveness of Cherry that he did that. But the price he's paying is that his family have actually locked him into the spirit world. And he's not going to be able to release from that and move on, because he's very much in this flat still here in Richmond, living with Cherry and affecting her life and stopping her from actually getting on with hers.
Very much so.
So hopefully in this process of understanding what the story is, and it's always about getting to the story, and that he also knows that we are understanding that, and really it's about yourself connecting with him and saying to him what you like, or telling him it's okay, or whatever it is that you want to share with him, to enable him to be okay with the situation.
Yes.
And that's what will allow him to let go and release. Does that feel?
Yes, that feels absolutely great, because I mean he was a very good man in many ways, and what I've learned has been immense.
Yeah.
May not have been very comfortable, but it was. I've certainly learned a lot.
Yeah, and I certainly met him, for a bit, and
I've got much stronger, I think, as a result of.
So what we're going to do now, the next stage, is to actually set up with the space clearing, space releasing tools, light the incense, and very gently go around the whole flat to loosen up the energetic matrix grid, which can lock in the soul, can lock in part of the spirit. And once we do that, that can often allow the release, and that is part of the process of spirit release, which is clearly what we are engaged in. We hope to share the next part of this story very shortly, so stay tuned, and see you very soon. Thank you. Well, welcome back. We've just carried out a round of space clearing using incense and sacred instruments and intention in helping Norman release. And it feels very different, and I'll let Cherry tell you how it's affected her body and how she feels.
Yes, there was a terrific weight on my shoulders, which I wasn't really aware of before, but until it's gone, the weight on my shoulders is gone, and the whole of the back of my head and eyes and head suddenly feel, well, it was as if they were compressed. No, they're not compressed anymore. And I think about Norman. He's instead of being a really dark, oppressive energy around him, really dark. I couldn't, as if Norman wasn't there at all, really. He was completely obscured, but now
overshadowed by someone.
Completely overshadowed.
Yeah, that's
overshadowed. That's right.
That was the family influence, the jealousy part of the family wanting to overshadow and control him to the exclusion of you.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
So that's created the darkness around him. Yeah.
So, but I just tuned in, and he's completely light, and it's as if he's almost as if he's sort of being pulled up by the top of his head. There's a sort of light at the very top of his head, which is kind of like a rocket in reverse, really, sort of pulling him upwards.
Pulling him up and releasing.
Pulling him upwards, yes. Yeah. And he looks a bit bemused. So it's not quite sure what.
Yeah.
Yes, he's not. Yes, he looks bemused. But he's now I can see it's Norman instead of this sort of dog.
Brilliant. Brilliant. So you're actually seeing his pure original soul rather than the overlays.
Absolutely. Yes. Yeah. Yes. Well, I think I should probably a bit of time for him to emerge his original self. He just looks a bit puzzled. So he really doesn't know what's going on. So
well, that's wonderful. It's actually a very simple and yet beautiful process, helping somebody to actually see where they are in spirit and what is actually locking them in, and in understanding their story and in them knowing that you've understood their story, their pain, that allows them to take part in the choice of, okay, I can now move on.
Yes.
And so what he came to you with in the beginning when we first connected, his guilt and wanting to apologize to you, where does that sit now?
Well, it doesn't seem to matter anymore. I'm not sure that he was... I think it was just sort of guilt. It was kind of spread around everybody and everything. Even he was guilty to his family because he felt he shouldn't have married me, and then he realised that.
But he'd have been carrying that for 45 years of your marriage.
Yes.
Wow.
Yes, I have. Yes,
Yeah.
Well, it was better when we went away, when we went to live in France, and we were very happy in Monaco. That was fun. But I think it's because we were away, and he adored it, and I think it was because he adored it because he was away from the pressures.
From the family.
Family pressures, yes.
Yeah.
Which he didn't want.
No.
And he really didn't want it. And it was, funny enough, it was me that brought him back here so that he could be near his family.
Yeah.
And I did that. I did that for him and for them. So I thought that was the right thing to do. But I don't know. Who knows? I have no idea. But
it does feel that he's now free and released.
Well, my body feels quite
different.
different.
Well, the thing is now, because he was controlling you.
Yes.
Does that feel that is lifted? That control? Is that why your body feels lighter?
Yes, I think yes. Yes. I mean, it was a very complicated. I think his emotions were immensely complicated, and so it was quite difficult to work out what was going on with him.
Yeah.
Except that it was very dark and very uncomfortable, and I think that all through our married life it was the same.
Yeah.
I think it's been much better when we went to live abroad.
Out of the influence of the family. Yeah.
Which is why actually we wanted to.
Okay.
We wanted to do that.
Well, the process will carry on settling now. Now he has released and let go, and you should actually carry on feeling freer and freer, both physically, emotionally, mentally. And so you can actually get on and live your life. And as you can see, Cherry's raring to go. She's a live wire. Nothing is stopping her. She's got a lot of projects lined up. And so what are you going to do next then with this freedom from the spirit world?
I have really got to find the way to and where to put my energies.
Yeah.
Which and that's the next step. Where to put my energies?
And I'm sure that will become clearer as the days go on. But now you've kind of been released from that control and that heavy energy, which was really quite dense.
Oh, well, Christian, thank you so much. I'm so grateful to you.
And we're going to go around. Actually, now we can do this live right now. We can go around with the dowsing rods. And why don't you pick up your dowsing rods? And in fact, when we started, the dowsing rods were crossing everywhere, indicating, as you may remember. So let's see what they do now when Cherry walks around with the dowsing rods. And let's have a look at what they do live. No rehearsal. And there we go. Just as one would have hoped, the rods are opening outwards instead of crossing, indicating that.
They were crossing. No, they're not crossing.
Yeah, in fact, they were crossing everywhere, and now.
Especially by the windows.
Yeah. And by Norman's chair, particularly at the dining table, they were very.
Yes, very much so.
Okay. So in fact, everywhere, Cherry is checking now. They are definitely either straight ahead or outwards, which indicates a release of her energy fields.
Gosh, yes.
And so the rods, so her energy fields don't need to protect herself, and the rods indicate and open outwards accordingly.
Yes. Oh yes, okay, that's fantastic.
So there we go. That's a really good confirmation, and it's a good reason to learn how to use dowsing rods and pendulums, because they just show and indicate the energy that is. Look at that! They're going completely out. That's really, really strong and clear space, and you can feel it. Just feel it in the atmosphere. It's just completely different energy in here now, and that didn't actually take very long. So
no.
I think that's probably a wrap, and we'll probably get some feedback in a week or two from Cherry, and we can share that with you too. But for the moment, I just want to thank Cherry for really being completely open and brave, and going live and sharing it with all my connections on Facebook, and
that's really a pleasure. No, honestly, it's really a pleasure, because it's very. I think it's so important, and so it's so important to know about these things. And thanks to Christian, I've been, we've been able to release a beautiful soul.
Absolutely,
a really beautiful soul. Release a beautiful soul, and who knows how many souls who are potentially beautiful on the earth still. Certainly me.
Absolutely.
It's been
so
amazing.
if this helps and encourages and opens up your awareness to situations, that's really what this is all about. So again, thank you for watching, and thank you to Cherry, and thank you to Norman for being a great part of this process, and choosing to let go of the family control and to move on, so that he can go to wherever he needs to go, allowing Cherry to be free, not controlling her, and everybody can move on with their lives.
Thank you, Christian, for being the thank you, Christian, for being the magician who does it.
I like that, being the magician. Yes,
well, yes, he's a cuddly magician.
The cuddly magician. Oh my God, I'm not going to live this one down. We are going out live here, Cherry. So anyway, so from Cherry and the cuddly magician, thank you for watching.